Hello everyone, welcome to the channel of Algocamp. So now on this particular channel, we are actually releasing a series on data structures and algorithms where we are going to talk about some of the most important data structures and algorithmic topics which are extremely important for your upcoming software engineering interviews. Apart from that, these are some of the I would say topics that are very helpful in your day-to-day engineering job as well. We have already released a couple of series around searching, right? And we got a really good response on that. And from here, we are going to put really some awesome content around DSA. In most of these lectures, we will try to ensure that we focus on the intuition building aspect of the things, that how you are able to think about something, what are some of the things that people actually neglect but are going to clear some of the really important fundamentals. We are going to see coding implementation, but trust me, my focus is not going to be on the language delivery aspect of the things, that okay, you have to code this in C++ or Java. A lot of problems we have coded in multiple languages. Maybe some of the problems will be in C++, some will be only in JavaScript. I believe if you are somebody who is preparing for an interview, language in 2025 should not be a constraint, because most of the people can actually use ChatGPT to do language conversions. So my motive here is to make sure that you understand the concept in depth. You actually see how exactly somebody might have thought about the problem when they were carving out the problem, what can be some initial thought process, how you can actually drive yourself towards the solution. I believe these are going to be some really important videos that will be really helpful for your upcoming career. So do let us know what is your feedback. We are going to release a lot of more topics. Do let us know what all topics you want to have first, right? And the feedback is going to be important. Also, in case you are actually thinking to level up, you want to learn things with respect to low-level design, high-level design, overall system design for interviews, or you are somebody who wants to do project development in Spring Boot, you want to learn advanced Spring Boot concepts, or let's say advanced Node.js concepts, then we have a lot of courses, live courses running on algocamp.io. So you can check out the website courses.algocamp.io/learn, and there are a lot of courses that are actually listed. A lot of great discounts are actually going on all the courses as well. Do check them out. For each and every single course, we are going to add you to a dedicated Discord community where you can get your doubts resolved as well. All of the courses, we have made sure that we talk about things from the very beginner to the very advanced level that is going to help you level up in your career as a software engineer. So that being said, let's start the video without any further delay. So now this is a new problem coming from LeetCode, problem number 213, House Robber 2. Problem is marked as medium and mostly around 7,900 upvotes. If you see, not as famous as the House Robber 1, because it's just a slight variation around it, but still a lot of times it has been asked. The problem says that you are a professional robber planning to rob houses along a street. Same thing. Each house has a certain amount of money stashed. All houses at this place are arranged in a circle. That means the first house is the neighbor of the last one. Meanwhile, adjacent houses have a security system connected, and it will automatically contact the police if two adjacent houses were broken into the same night. Now, the only difference is that these houses are not arranged in a straight line street, but instead they are in a circle. So whatever was there in the previous problem, absolutely same conditions exist, but this time the houses are actually in a circular fashion. So given an integer array nums representing the amount of money each house, return the max amount of money you can rob tonight without alerting the police. So technically what is happening is that you now have a circular arrangement of houses, right? These houses now are in a circular arrangement, okay? And now again the same thing happens. If you have robbed the ith house, you cannot rob the adjacent houses. Now if you just open the strip and take a look at it, the problem will look absolutely like a 1D array. It's just that the last index is also connected to the 0th index. This looks like the only difference. So before moving forward in the video, if you're somebody who is actually looking to learn Spring Boot and want to develop a career in backend development in Java, then you are at the absolutely right place. So now we have actually launched the second iteration of our Spring Boot cohort, where we are going to talk about a lot of interesting backend development topics in Spring Boot, right from the beginner level to the very advanced level. We're going to start with basics of what is a build system. We'll start learning about what are basics of databases, what are basics of Spring Boot, and slowly and steadily we'll move to advanced topics like how you can actually implement distributed transactions using the saga design pattern, be it the choreography saga or the orchestration saga. We are going to talk about the design aspects of some of the very interesting projects, including making a distributed wallet, including making an Airbnb based backend booking system. We are going to talk about how you can actually play around with geospatial indexes and how you can make an Uber booking application altogether and whatnot. There's going to be a lot of important topics that are very frequently used in day-to-day backend engineering job, which will actually help you to get the idea of what exactly it looks like to develop these kind of like scalable applications. So if you want to turn up your portfolio into an absolute Spring Boot beast, then do check out the link in the description section below and use this coupon code to get maximum discount off on the cohort. And I'm really excited for you to join the cohort as well. So let's just resume back to the video.
Friends that we have, right? So for example, if you take 1, 2, 3, 1, okay, 1, 2, 3, 1. The only case is that this one is also technically adjacent to the next one. Okay. That means if you had a case like 7, 1, 1, 9, then we could not have robbed 7 and 9 together. We could not have robbed 7 and 9 together because now 7 is also adjacent to 9 because it's a circular arrangement altogether. Now just think about it. If it's a circular arrangement, then it's a pretty straightforward case that if you have an array then the 0th index and the last index, these two cannot be robbed together, right? 0th and n-1th cannot be robbed together. Just for a second, if I say, forget about the n-1th house, that it doesn't even exist. Forget about the n-1th house, that it doesn't even exist. Now, can I say from 0 to n-2, from 0 to n-2, the problem is same as house robber 1 because you have now broken the connection between the 0th house and the last house. You have removed the last house. Now there is no last house. If there is no last house, for example, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, dot, dot, n-2, n-1. For the time being, if I break this connection that the last house doesn't exist, this is now just a linear 1D array. Can I say that? 0 to n-2 is just a 1D array. No circularness at all, right? Because why I am deleting n-1? Because eventually you would not have been able to take n-1 if you are considering 0, right? These two together cannot be considered. That is the problem. But there might be a case that, for example, here 7 plus 1 gives you 8 plus 9 plus 1 gives you 10. That's a better choice, right? So if you avoid 9, you could have solved the problem for 7, 1, 1. This will give you the maximum profit as 8. But actually, there can be one more case that instead of taking 0th index, let's say we take the n-1th index. Now, if you are taking the n-1th index, forget about the 0th index and consider everything from 1 to n-1. Consider everything from 1 to n-1, forget about the 0th index. Can I say 1 to n-1 is also just a simple 1D array? Right? So, you have two choices. Either you get the maximum profit from 7, 1, 1, rob these 3 houses, or rob these 3 houses, 1, 1, 9. Whatever approach is going to give you a better answer, that will be your final answer. And for a 1D array, we already know how to do house robbery. We have already done in the previous set of questions that if you just have 7, 1, 1, how can you make the profit out? If you just have 1, 1, 9, how can you make the profit out? So, we already know how to solve for 1D array, right? And how we are reducing the problem to 1D array? I am saying that because 0 and n-1 together cannot exist, I will just consider one case that 0 is not there and I consider everything from 1 to n-1. That means I broke the connection of the circular list and now this is just a linear 1D array. And in the other case, you will avoid n minus 1, and from everything from 0 to n minus 2, you will consider as 1D array. That's it. So whatever is the maximum of case number 1 and case number 2 will be your answer. So what is the maximum of 7 comma 1 comma 1 or 1 comma 1 comma 9 is your answer. And 1D array, so we have already know how can we solve it. We have already coded that solution, right? So based on this, you can see you are going to make two dynamic programming calls. Both of them are order of n. So order of n plus order of n will give you the time complexity as order of n. Same space complexity will also be order of n if you're not writing the space optimized version. So if you want to code this house robber 2 problem, here I am pasting the previous top-down solution, right? The only change that I will do in this top-down solution is the base case that I wrote was nums.size. Now nums.size can be variable because now you don't want to go beyond n minus 1. In 0 to n minus 2, if anything goes beyond n minus 2, that's your base case, right? What you can do is you can take int li. Li means last index. Okay, that you don't want to go beyond the last index. And if anything is greater than the last index, you return 0. Okay, and you do dp.clear here and dp.resize with -1. Okay, you will calculate the first case, case 1. Case 1 is equals to f of 0 to n minus 2 nums. Okay, then you will be able to get case 1. Now you need to clear and resize the dp again. Why? Because after the first recursive call, the dp array will be already populated, right? Now you need to refresh the dp array for the next case. Case 2, f of 1 comma n minus 1 nums. Okay, let's calculate n. And your answer is going to be return maximum of case 1 comma case 2. If you run the code, did we miss something? Okay, in these function calls also you need to pass it, right? So li. Let's see. Okay, looks fine for this test case. Let's try with another test case. Looks fine. Let's try with our test case of 7119. Here the answer should be 10. 10. Let's try a single length array. Okay, you can see in the single length array it's not working fine. So this can be one corner case that we can just set up. If it's a single length array, return nums of 0. That's it. Let's try to submit. And boom, done. Right? So again, in order of n time and order of n space, we are able to solve the problem. And using the answer of the previous problem only, we are able to just exactly code it. We just had to refresh our dp array 2 times because we are making the function call 2 times. So after the first function call, dp array will be already populated.